Hello, all who are interested in the Romania 2020 trip. Um, let's do this here. This will be the easiest way. Instead of me sending you like a really, really long email, we can all get it out here almost face to face. All right, so first, let's dive in. The reason why we do international mission trips at Faith is one, Jump, Army, those things are amazing and awesome. Those are local, and they do amazing amount of good. But for us to continue to grow as Christians in our faith, as disciples of Jesus, it is a worldwide call. The cool thing about the Methodist Church is we are connected globally. Like we're not just our own church in Denton here doing our own thing, that we are literally connected to people all over the world. And for us to be a part of that and put like faces to that reality helps us grow, helps stretch us, our heart and our mind as we kind of go throughout our day, as we kind of come back from these trips. It changes us. It changes the way we look at people. It changes the way we look at ourselves. And it just changes us in some really cool and dramatic ways. So it's important for us at Faith to do international missions, for us to continue to grow as disciples of Jesus. Okay, why Romania? I know it's the random country. The short answer is one, international trips require a lot of logistics, and the more people you know in a country, the smoother and the better the trip it is. Romania, just logistically, practically, I have contacts there. I've been going there since 2005. I've been multiple times, and so that's where our contacts are for a trip like this. And the really cool thing is the Methodist Church there in Romania is very new, like 10 years old. And the movement there is real and awesome. And so the church that we partner with over there is led by Pastor Raresh Kalugar. And their name is actually called The Way of Faith UMC, which we're Faith UMC. Cool connection. And the cool thing about their church over there is that they have like worship like 30 on a Sunday, but they have hundreds who participate in ministries that happen outside of the church. And so they have a soccer training group for kids where they combine the teen orphans of the city with families of the Romanians, and they kind of combine on the soccer team to create stability and relationships. A problem over there in Romania is the government will give families like money if you for when your kids are 1 and 2 years old, but then after that they quit giving you money. And so a lot of people have kids for the first 2 years. They take care of them because they want that money from the government, and then they just abandon them basically. And so they end up in all these government-run orphanages, which are not good. They're basically like prisons for kids. And so Raras's church and their people, they are doing their best to help care and love for these teens who have been forgotten, who have been abandoned, and have all kinds of issues that stem from that reality. And so another thing they do is called the Rața Project, which basically once the teens age out of the orphanage, they don't receive that kind of government money anymore. They don't have life skills. They're basically just kicked out to the street. They don't have the life skills to kind of take care of themselves. And so they kind of, this group, they put them in a house, an apartment together with an adult that mentors them. They do Bible studies together. They teach them life skills. And it's kind of this whole process to get them ready to be independent, get them a job, and kind of get them self-sufficient. And it's just beautiful, practical ministry. And so these are just some of the ministries that are coming out of Romania, out of this Methodist movement that is new there. And we kind of get to go over there and partner with them. So let's talk about, a little bit about Romania overall. Kind of got a little bit into the details there, but Romania is in Eastern Europe. It's surrounded by Bulgaria, Hungary, Ukraine, Moldova. It's kind of in that region. It's beautiful. It's very green. There's mountains over there. Carpathian Mountains run through there. And it was formerly communist, so that was overthrown in 89, 90. And so there's still remnants of that you'll see around in the cities. We're staying at our main area where we're working is Cluj, which is the second biggest city in Romania. It's kind of in the northwestern part of the country. And it's an incredibly safe city. When I went there for my sabbatical last year, there were like 9, 10-year-olds like on their own in the city in the afternoon after school's out, just going to the mall, taking public transportation, just wandering around on their own. Here in America, you'd be like, where is your parent? Where is your adult? But over there, it's so safe. It's kind of just a part of their thing that there's basically no crime in Cluj, and it's just a very, very awesome city. Another thing that's a reality over there is that there's a gypsy population that kind of lives out usually in the villages around these bigger cities that we'll also be working with. And the gypsies there are kind of like the ostracized community. Like it's so bad, they're so neglected that their villages that are outside the city, they won't even run power to them. They don't see them as worthwhile to run some power out to these villages where these people are. And so we'll be working with some of their population, some of their villages, kind of while we are over there. All right. With that, let's talk about our actual trips. All right, so here is a tentative date for short trip is July 22nd through July 31st. It's a 10-day window, and this trip is our sports camp kind of one. Essentially, the teen orphans from the government orphanages, they kind of are bussed in to be with the Romanian families from the church and the community, and then combined with some Americans. We all come together at this camp that's in this remote area surrounded by hills that are super green and awesome, and we'll run like a midwinter VBS summer camp style camp. So there's worship in the mornings and evenings. There's games throughout the day. We share a meal together, and it's all to kind of create these bonds and relationships and experiences with each other. And so our main goal when we go on this camp is to help, one, create relationships and friendships for ourselves and with these students, but also to help connect these teen orphans that need love and stability with the Romanian families that are going to be there long after we're gone. And so we're there to assist and help them in that and have a great time doing it. There also will be a day or two we go out to the Romanian villages that I talked about, the gypsy villages, where we will either just hang out and play or experience worship with them. We'll just kind of go see what they live like, what it looks like out there. And our students will be prepared to offer maybe some messages and some fun stuff for the kids that are out there. There's also a day or two of sightseeing. There's amazing castles, amazing history around Romania. In the past, we've gone to castles that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. Amazing history, amazing views. It's just a super cool thing. So we'll make sure that there's some of that in the trip as well. If we have 30 or more people interested in going to Romania, we want to make sure that nobody's left out because our cap is about 25 that we can take on this trip. But it's looking like we're going to have more than that, and so we wanted to offer a second trip to make sure nobody kind of gets left behind here, and everyone kind of gets to experience this. And it's a little bit different trip. So the dates for this one, tentatively, are July 8th through July 17th. And this trip will look a little bit different because we're going to do kind of more of a construction trip. And so they're out in the villages where we talked about, where the gypsies are at. There's a village called Comcest, and Pastor Samuel, who is one of 3 Methodist pastors in all of Romania, leads a church out there. They've been meeting in a field for years, and now they've raised enough funds and money to have their own building. And so they're going to start construction. They've already begun laying the foundation and starting construction of the walls and stuff like that out there now. And when we come in the summer, they'll need help with interior work, doing drywall, laying flooring, some of those interior things. And so our projects will be kind of helping them get their building ready for worship, for them to have a place of their own, which would be really, really cool and really, really powerful to be a part of that. And so while that doesn't sound as fun, there will definitely be kids running around that village. When I went out there this last fall, they just want to play soccer. And if you were trying to do something, the kids will be all over you, demanding your attention, wanting your love and affection. And so, we can offer that as well along with our construction kind of project. Okay. There'll also be a day or two where we do maybe a VBS kind of thing for them out there. To go along with this construction stuff, and then obviously there'll be a day or two of sightseeing as well for the trip. Okay. So it looks similar in some aspects, but a little bit different. All right, lodging. Where am I going to be sleeping? Is it going to be in tents? Is it going to be outside underneath the stars? No. At the sports camp, we have like dorm-like settings. There's 2 beds, 2 people to a room. There's bathrooms there, like there's hot showers. It's all the amenities. And then with the people who are staying in the city, maybe the construction people will be staying at Hotel Fulton, which is where Rarsh's church actually meets. And it's a wonderful hotel. It's same thing. It's got hot showers. It's got It's got Wi-Fi. It's got all the stuff you need. You're not going to be sleeping under the stars. So you'll be taken care of there. As far as communication back home, like I said, there's Wi-Fi at the camp, the sports camp. There's only like one place. It's around the where we eat is the best place for Wi-Fi. The students were using FaceTime last time we were there. They're sending text messages. Anytime you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can kind of communicate back home really, really well. If we're staying in the hotel, great connection. We will also obviously post to Facebook for people's parents who aren't there, for everybody to see back home. We'll do that every day. And there's also an app called Marco Polo, which was amazing while I was on my sabbatical to keep up with my now wife. And so I could be offline taking videos, showing them what was going on. And then when I got back on Wi-Fi, those videos would go to Abby, and it was kind of like she was there experiencing that with me. So Marco Polo is a really good app for that. Let's get to cost. Grand reveal. It's usually about $2,000 to go on this trip. About $1,200 to $1,500 of that is for our plane ticket to go out there. This camp doesn't happen without our support, so a part of our cost while we're over there goes to putting on this sports camp, going to the materials that will help build some of that church. And the more people we have going, the more we spread that out, and our money goes a little further. Pays for food, pays for our lodging, pays for kind of all the things that were over there, and then we'll have some extra spending money in there as well that's built in. For you to get souvenirs or things or some different experiences while we are there. Okay, let's talk about fundraising. Because that is a large amount of money, if we do team fundraisers, we're going to try to create a way to where individuals can raise money for themselves. Because if we just do it a team way and be like, this is going all to Romania, we might get like $12 each, right? And so a lot of the fundraising is done kind of on your own. Students, the best way to raise money is to get a job. That's the easiest and quickest way to raise money for this trip. I understand if you have band, if you have sports, athletics, things like that. Maybe it's be creative with your work. Babysitting on a weekend, mowing a lawn here and there. Find out ways where you can work in some ways to kind of create your own income. Maybe you create, bracelets or necklaces or something like that. You can sell that at school. Another way is Facebook Marketplace. If you have things you need to get rid of, I've discovered Facebook Marketplace is a great place to sell your stuff. Basically, it's a garage sale that comes to you. And so if you need to raise money doing that way, if you have like a bunch of stuff laying around your garage, that's a great way of doing that. Also, you can turn Christmas, instead of asking for bukus of gifts, maybe you can say, hey, send me to Romania. Maybe that be your gift that you asked for this Christmas. And obviously, there's a variety of online fundraisers that are out there, of GoFundMe, of Pledgy. Those are kind of the lowest percentage you have to kick back to them. And so you get the maximum amount of money when you do online fundraising there. And then personal calls, like to your family and friends. I know asking for money is the worst thing in the world. That's a new form of torture in this day and age. But a trip like this where you're doing a ton of good, and you're not just asking for money for instruments or athletics, stuff like that. This is going to have an eternal impact, not just on your life, but on these people who you get an opportunity to be the love of God. Your family and friends would love for you to have that kind of experience. So there's a letter attached that I'll put in our packet that kind of helps you kind of share that with your family and friends. And then lastly is this, kind of our goal for this trip is to partner in real ways, create real relationships with people overseas. A lot of times international mission trips are kind of this savior complex of I'm going to go over there, I'm going to do the most good, I'm going to go over here and save these people who are in just such a terrible, terrible situation. And the reality is we're going there for 10 days. And so the best impact we're going to have is when we kind of come home from this, of the ways it inspires us and the ways that we can find that we can partner with them while we are still here. And so we're going over there to put faces to these relationships, to maybe we can sponsor some of these ministries when we kind of get back. And it'll be real and tangible to us because we'll know Danute, we'll know Rouse, we'll know Samita, we'll know these names that are involved in these ministries. And so for us, we don't want it to be like just pay a sponsorship and this kind of distance thing. We want to know the people and have a relationship with the people that we will be partnering with now and into the future. And I'll just share this, that for me, this trip was special. In 2005, when I first went, when I was 19 years old, it helped inform a call in my life to go into youth ministry. And being away and outside of the country where you're super comfortable, it opens you up. It makes you more vulnerable, opens you up to new kind of possibilities and opportunities of ways for God to work in your heart and in your life. And so I don't know what God has for you while you're out there. I don't know what you need, but in a lot of ways, this trip can be very informative. It can be very clarifying, and it's incredibly rewarding and unique. And so if you are even just slightly interested, pray about it. If God wants you to be a part of this team and on this trip, it's going to happen. Don't let money be an obstacle. Don't let anything be an obstacle here if you're interested in doing this. And so if you have questions, feel free to email me, text me if you have those, and I'd be happy to answer them. And shoot me an email if you're interested in going, and tell me how many people are interested in going on this trip. All right, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching this whole video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.